Hello everyone and welcome back to the Microsoft Subject Series. My name is Niall and I'm really excited for you to join us today for our series on the early years. My background is as an early years teacher, early and first level, and also additional support needs. So this is right up kind of my street. I was really excited to put together today's session. We've got loads of exciting things that you can use with your students, and I've crammed it all into the kind of 16 or so minutes that we have for the session today. So two things before we begin. Please do, as we've mentioned every single time, find us on Twitter. You've got TA Scotland, and at Niall Ridgway as well there. Please do tag us in anything that you do, share anything. And if you've learned something new, please let us know. We also have the comments open as well. So if you have any comments, please do share them with us. Let us know if there's anything you didn't know, if there's anything exciting that you've kind of found out about today. And we've also got here we go. This is our survey for the end of the day. So once you've joined us for the full 20 minutes, just please take an extra 10 seconds, 30 seconds or so, and just kind of let us know how you got on today. The bit.ly link for today's session is there. So it's bit.ly/tas-early365. Okay, and that will take you directly to the survey. Okay, so let's jump in. I'm trying to cram that kind of open there into today's session just because we've got so much to share with you today. So I'm just going to share the screen. Let's go to entire screen, share audio as well. It's important for today. And hey, so we can see it. I'm just going to hide this. So as you can see at the top today, we're going to be having a look at three different things. We're going to be having a look at PowerPoint. We're going to be having a look at OneNote, which is kind of going to be the backbone for everything that we do today. And then lastly, we're going to have a look at ThingLink as well. So obviously working in the early years, you're having to think of alternate ways to kind of support that literacy with your students. So thinking about audio, thinking about video, thinking about interactivity. And that's something that I have focused on today, is that kind of visual and also the audio for your students. So here we have PowerPoint, and what I've done in PowerPoint here is I have created a storyboard. So this is my essentially my track for where the story goes. So it starts on the left-hand side. We're doing the Three Little Pigs as kind of the baseline story for us today. Is maybe our book of the week that you're focusing on, our book focus anyway. And if I just make this a wee bit bigger, let's present. Come on, PowerPoint. I was doing this earlier as well. Yeah, don't know what is going on there. Right, let's just try reload. There we go. We'll do it from here. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So the story goes, we've got the three little pigs they've become of age, they're wanting to move out. So the first pig builds their house made of sticks. The wolf blows it down. Second pig builds out of, straw, sticks. Wolf blows it down, then out of bricks as well. The wolf can't blow it down, so climbs down the chimney and unluckily falls into a big kind of pot of boiling water into soup. And the pigs are happy. So that is the story, basically, rushed through there. So you can easily create your storyboards for your children just purely using visuals on PowerPoint. So I'm just going to add in a wee new slide. Let's go for a blank slide just to show you. And all I did was I went to Insert and Pictures. And there's three kind of main options here. We've got the Insert Images from OneDrive. I wonder if I can zoom in here. That'll make it a bit easier for you to see. So from OneDrive, so that's all your photos that you've saved online into the cloud. We then have our stock images. So that is where you would get things like cutout people and kind of like the professional looking images. And then we also have Bing images, Bing pictures. And what's great about if you use stock images and Bing pictures is for both of those, you can tick a box that says only Creative Commons licensed images. So if I go to Bing and I type in three pigs, there we have all the kind of images of the three little pigs, and all of these images have been marked as with that Creative Commons license. It's essentially copyright-free images, so you can do what you like with these images. And when you add in any of these images as well, so if I add in this one here, of the three pigs, we get that attribution at the bottom, and we also have the alt text, which is fantastic. I love that. So we have our image there. The next thing you're going to want to do, let's just make it a bit smaller now. Let's pull it up to the top, keep the attribution there. All I then did was I went to insert shape and then chuck in an arrow, draw in my arrow, and there we go. So then we can move on to the next image and just go insert, pictures, Bing pictures. If you're not finding a particular kind of style of images that you're wanting, so if I type in 3 pigs, on the left-hand side, you can filter as well. So any kind of, you can change the size of the image that's there. You can change it to a photograph or clip art. And you can also change the layout as well. So my favorite one is the colors. This is particularly good if you're doing anything with flowers. Maybe Jack and the Beanstalk would be a good one. So you would select only images that have green in them, that are kind of mostly green. For the pigs, we'll select pink. So all the images here are going to be pink. So if I give you an example, if I type in flowers, we have it set to pink, so all the images are pink. If I set it to green, all the images are going to be green. If I set it to red, all the images for the flowers are going to be red. So that's just a nice, quick and easy way for you to find images for your storyboards. So I'm just going to come off of here. Now, we can add in audio directly into the file, but you will have had to have recorded it already. So I'm going to show you a great way that we can record our audio for our students so they can retell the story. Designer's trying to crack in there. So, but before we do that, I'm going to save this picture. Let's just delete this one. This slide as a picture. So I'm going to go to File, and then I'm going to go to Save As. And in here, we've got all the different file types that we can export this slide as. So we could save it as a PDF, we could save it as basically a presentation file, or we can download as an image. So it's just going to download this whole slide as a JPEG image. So I can hit download as images. Once it's done, there you go. You'll see it appears there, and it's now going to be in your file manager. So what we're next going to do is we're going to head over to OneNote. And here I've created a OneNote all about different stories that we can have a look at. So I've got the 3 little pigs, I've got Jack and the Beanstalk, Goldilocks, and you can create a bank of books and stories for your students to just go through and have a look at in their own time. Or you could use this for your evidence of learning as well. So here we have, I'm just going to do 3 little pigs today as the example. So we've got our 3 little pigs. Now to get this image here, let's just zoom out a wee bit. All I did, let's just delete this image, is I went to Insert, Picture, and then from File, and there we have our picture of the 3 little pigs. Once it kicks in, there we go. So now we have our storyboard added into our, into our OneNote. Let's try and make this a wee bit bigger. There we go. Okay, we have our storyboard into our OneNote. What can we do with it? Well, I would recommend that we start to get your students to record the story and have kind of retell the story and recount exactly what happens. So it's a big part of the curriculum in the early years. So what we can do is, you'll see on the right hand side, I have created, let's just zoom in again for you. I have created a table of evidence of their learning. So what I did was I asked the students, these are all made up recordings, I've asked the students to recount and retell the story. So this could be during their play, could be when after they've had a look at the book, anything like that, just as they're exploring the storyboard that you've got there, and get them to recount and retell the story. So to create the audio recordings, all you need to do is go to Insert, and then we've got our table. So I've just inserted the table here, added in the names, and then I've clicked where Jerry is. I've clicked where I want the audio recording to go. And from there, I just hit audio. Now it's going to start to record instantly for me. Okay, so it started recording already. And now the students can start to retell the story. So the 3 little pigs built the houses, we've tried to blow it down, etc. Once they're done, you can just hit stop, or your students can hit stop. And now you have evidence of their learning, and you can also get them to listen back to their recording and see if there's anything you want to add in. So let's listen back to this recording here. Audio. Now it's going to start to record instantly for me. Okay, so it started recording already. Okay, so you get an idea of what that sounds like. Okay, so that's one way that you can kind of evidence their learning using the Microsoft tools. You can also just have this open during play for them, and you could get a teacher recording up here. So I've got an example here, teacher recording. I'm just going to hit record. Welcome to the story of the three little pigs. Once upon a time, there were three little pigs who left home. That kind of thing. Hit stop. And now, whenever your students are wanting to listen back to the story that you have retold as the teacher, they just have to click on that audio recording, hit play. Welcome to the story of the three little pigs. Once upon a time, there were three little pigs. Excuse me. And there we go. So now you could have this just out on your Windows tablet, your Windows device that's sitting out during play. It could be one of your sessions, one of your PlayStations, a station for play, and your students are then able to listen back to the story without you even being there, and then they can engage with that book. Maybe what you could do is you have all the toys, figures of the three little pigs, you have that audio recording playing, and then they act out what is happening in the story. I mean, early years teachers are massively creative, so I will leave that with you. I'm just kind of giving you ideas here on what you could do to support your students with their play. Okay, we're at 12 minutes, perfect timing. So another thing that you could do with your students is start to use the immersive reader. So to get this text, this is the story of the three little pigs. I just whacked it into ChatGPT and said, I've not got it open. Write me the story of the three little pigs aimed at an audience of 4 years old. And here we have the story that's created. It's not copyrighted. It's all good to go. So once upon a time, there were three little pigs. They were brothers, and they all wanted to build their own houses. Now, we can get Microsoft OneNote to read this back out to us. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to just click on this text here, and then I'm going to go to, zoom out a wee bit, view, and then immersive reader. And from there, I'm able to listen back to this story using the immersive reader. So
once upon a time, there were three little pigs.
Okay, and we can have that read out to us. We can change the voice speed, so we can make it a little bit slower for them. We can change the voice selection to male if that's what they'd like to listen to.
They were brothers, and they all...
What's great as well is we can change the text size. Maybe you're learning about particular sounds that day and you want to have a look. You can change the font. Now, there is only these three fonts, so I'd recommend Comic Sans because you've got that rounded A. You can change the background. And one of my favorite things for the students is we have the picture dictionary as well. So I can click on any of these words and it's going to show me that picture. So, for example, houses. We've got the house captions there as well, but we've got the word
houses.
And it's going to show me a picture of that. Brothers. Okay, pigs. So if you had your P1 classes, maybe you were learning about your CVC and you had the word pig that you were learning about. So you get them to find the pig, and once they find it, they can click on that word and see if it's not got a picture of pigs in this one. But you get what I'm saying. So that is the immersive reader. We can also lastly change the language. Oh, we've got Reading Coach. Hey, Reading Coach has appeared. Fantastic. I knew this was coming. We will be touching on this at another time. I saw it came out the other night, so that's really exciting. Translate. So last thing, yes, we can do is translate. I got totally sidetracked there. And we can translate this document into any other language. So if you had any students in your class who spoke Ukrainian, what's great is it will translate this word by word. If I click on this word, it'll tell me the word in Ukrainian. Or what we can do is we can change the whole document to Ukrainian and we can have it read out to us.
Колись давно було три поросяти.
In Ukrainian. Okay, if you ever need to go back to the original, you can do by just clicking on original. Now, it doesn't save in Ukrainian. You have to do this every single time. So when I hit back, it's going to keep it in English for us. Okay, so there's just something else for you to use, the immersive reader. And the last thing that I want to show you, so a wee shout out to, it is at Scotland Louise, so that's Louise Jones on Twitter, and also it is Mrs. CJ Travis. So it was Mrs. Travis that pointed this out to me actually on Twitter, that she likes to use this with her classes, and that is embedding thing links into OneNote as well. So here we have our thing link that has been embedded into OneNote. To create a thing link, it's really super simple. All you need to do is head to thing link. You can go to create, upload an image. So let's just upload our image of the pigs. Hit continue. very simply, we can add in tags. So we can add text and media or just text. I would recommend go for the text and media. And then we can change the icon, change the layout, and then you can upload audio. So you could upload audio for the whole story or just different parts of the story. So for example, once upon a time, there were 3 little pigs who left home and wanted to build their own houses. Okay, I'm going to hit done. And now I'm going to put this little play icon underneath the first part. I can then add a new tag. And again, very simply, without any text or anything, you can add your own text, but just to kind of race through it just now. The first pig wanted to make their house out of straw, but the wolf came along and blew it down. Okay, then I'm going to stick this just in about here. And now your students are able to listen to the story as they go on at each of the different points. Now, what's particularly useful is you can actually, just by purely copying the link from this thing that you've created, all you need to do is head to share link, and then hit copy. And then from within your OneNote, just going to delete this one for you now. This was my example that I did for you. Enter, and it's going to embed this thing link in for you. Now, come on. What's great about this is it will actually play for you directly from here. So here's the one I created earlier by retelling the story.
This is the story of the 3 little pigs.
Okay, so you can embed your thing links directly into OneNote, and you could have your students follow along either listening to the whole story or by listening back to the certain parts of the story as well. What you could do, if you were feeling really kind of brave and ambitious, is get your students to record their own different parts and different sections as well, and then you could have the evidence for their learning. So I'm just going to head back to the main screen just now. That is perfect timing because that's us on 18 minutes. I'm just going to hit stop sharing screen. And I'm going to pull this screen back up to the top. So thank you very much to everybody for joining us today. We've covered so much, and hopefully you've got like loads of different ideas for ways that you can support your early years classes and possibly your first level classes as well with using the Microsoft 365 tools. So today we covered using PowerPoint to create images and getting those copyright-free images. We had a look at OneNote, the immersive reader, recording, evidencing, using audio, and embedding thing links as well. So thank you very much to everybody for joining us today. I hope you've enjoyed today's session. Please do let us know by clicking on the survey and tagging us I'll cover that to Twitter. Click on the survey, let us know that you've enjoyed today's session, let us know anything new that you've learned about, and tag us on Twitter down at the bottom there at TA Scotland and at Niall Ridgway. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Cheers. Bye.